Hello everybody, we just finished watching the 7th episode of the Chainsaw Man anime, and we've got some stuff we want to talk about it, because this may be the best work of fiction that MAP has ever put out.
Yeah, I think that this episode will be the most infamous episode, and it's pretty funny when the most talked about scene isn't even the amazing fight scene at the beginning. So let's get into that.
Well, that's my favorite part. I've got Jaden here with me as always. You just heard him talk.
Yep, that's me.
And I've got myself, Corbin, here. Housekeeping stuff before we get started. First thing first, this episode title is The Taste of a Kiss. I wonder where that comes up. I couldn't tell you. And this episode covers chapters 18.5 to 21 of the manga. So, 21 years old. We're legal to drink. Let's go.
Well, the legal age in Japan is actually 20, so...
We're so legal to drink.
Okay.
Let's go. Right, so this covers 3.5 chapters, and we end off where a chapter ends off this time, so we're not halfway through like we have been. Last time, Denji jumped down into the pit of sorrows and woes, from which... I'm sorry, never mind. If you guys somehow get that, I will... Oh.
All three of you watching this, guys.
Well, here's the thing. The podcast that I was sort of going from that from is a podcast about World Trigger that these people do, where they review World Trigger volumes monthly, right? It's called Duckface Diaries.
Okay.
It's a really good podcast. I enjoy them. The two dudes on there seem like cool dudes. I think they're like Polish or something. I don't know. Right? But they're cool dudes. Alright, so last time Denji jumped into this hole, and this time he uses chainsaws in that hole.
Yep.
Big fight with the Infinity Devil, right? We've got all of our main characters up on the ledge of the door looking sort of thingy, right? They're all up there and they're like, oh no, Denji's losing blood, this isn't good, right? And we get a mention of while Denji's fighting the Infinity Devil here, the Infinity Devil is coming all attacking, right? And the Infinity Devil's just like, why are you so weak? Chainsaw Man. Mm-hmm. Opening kick back by Kendra Suda.
Whoa, you missed something. It actually played one of the
yes.
100 million centimeter blades.
Yes, I totally caught that during it, and I meant to write it down.
That sounded so cool.
It did, because at first you don't get it, right? And I've listened to it a few times, and you get that. Yeah, and you get that devil and and it's just like, and it keeps building up until like you get that like weird end part of it too, right? Yeah. And like the in the middle, and it does sound really cool. Like, I'm glad you brought that up, because I totally caught that. I just forgot to write it down.
I think that this scene was almost perfect, because all of the CG in this scene was really good, except like 2 shots, and it's very high. It's good masked. I think it looks amazing. Like, yeah, I was really impressed. I'm like, this looks great. That doesn't look good. The rest looks great. There was like 1 or 2 scenes that looked bad.
Yeah, exactly. And overall, we'll just get into CG right now. First off, the fight scene in this episode, it looked really good for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
It's like last week we were talking about the whole thing of, oh, look at that. 1 week's good, the next week's terrible. We've had like 3 episodes in a row now that are like good.
Yeah.
Like that haven't been bad.
The CGI has really improved, I think.
And I don't know if that's just MAPPA getting some reception, or if they're like putting their budget into like these final episodes, right?
But
because we've got to realize we've got 5 episodes left, and knowing from in the manga sense what happens in these 5 episodes, these are big ass episodes, right?
And another thing is, manga episodes get finished like minutes before they're put on air.
Yes.
So they're probably working their butts off right now to finish up episode 8?
Yeah,
as we speak.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for mentioning that. And yeah, it's just a really cool moment where the opening plays as the thing's playing. Like opening, of course, is kicked back by Kendra Suda. It's an opening.
It's good. I think we've established that
to be honest, so in my Bleach reviews I've been doing, right, I've got this constant thing where like, all right, endings, geez, the ending's an ending, right? And the opening is like, I'm starting to grow on it. This one's starting to like degrow on me in a way, right? Like, I feel like I've listened to it so much and sort of gotten it that it just doesn't hold its weight anymore, and it doesn't matter.
It's still pretty good, though.
It's still pretty good, but it doesn't reach the highs like Bleach Opening 13 has, right?
Okay.
That's the best opening of all time. And maybe Black Clover from Black Clover. That ending's god tier. Oh, and Black Catcher from Black Clover. I will stop.
You're getting off topic.
We've already gone off topic like 8 times, right? Pretty much, we cut back to the episode Denji versus Infinity Devil. Denji starts to retract his chainsaws, right? And of course we know that whenever Denji loses blood, his chainsaws retract. So he is losing a lot of blood, right? At this point, Himeno's up on the top, and she's just thinking about everything, and she's like, holy shit, he may be able to cut. Hard cut, right? We cut to the graveyard where Himeno is giving flowers to all of her dead allies, right? And we see this devil hunter here. We don't get his name, but we know his name, and, well, his name's Kishibe.
Yep, so just real quick, the voice actor for this guy plays Nanami in Jujutsu Kaisen, and he also played the old man in One Piece Film Red that raised Uta.
Fuck, what was his name?
I don't remember.
Ah, jeez.
He also...
Morgan? No, Morgan's a big One Piece film later on.
He also plays Blueford in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is our reference for the day. And
all right. Let me guess what part he's from. Blueford.
That's his localized name. His actual name's Bruford. They changed it to Blueford.
Okay, well here's my thought process. I don't think it's part 6.
Okay.
Right? Am I right on that?
Yes.
Okay. It can't be part 7.
Okay.
Because that's not anime. It can't be part 8. Right? It's not part 1.
It is.
Fuck, it is?
Yeah.
I was going to say it was part 4.
Okay.
Alright, part 1. Alright, pretty much, and Kishibe makes a note of, hey, the devil hunters who live the longest and sort of flourish in this trade in a way are the ones that have a few screws loose.
Yep, you
right?
gotta be crazy to do this kind of stuff.
You gotta be crazy to do it, right? And he said, while all of your allies are strong, they all had their heads on straight.
Yeah.
Is Aki's heads on straight? And Himeno's like, he's out to kill the fucking gun devil. No! His head isn't on straight at all.
And Kishibe mentioned something that the people who are actually scared of the devils only make them stronger, and that's why they beat them so easily.
Exactly, right? And of course, going back to Denji, he's not like this.
So you've got to be fearless in order to take these guys on.
He's a brazen dude, right? And another important thing he mentions is that he's like, Himeno, the thing is, you're not really too crazy, though, right? Like, Himeno's, like, got some stuff going on, right? But she's not as crazy as, like, Anaki or Denji.
She's only relatively unhinged.
Yes, relatively more than her companions that, well, they're probably 6 foot under being decomposed by the, Decomposition devil. God exists.
Decomposition devil.
Alright, that's the episode title. The Decomposition devil. Right, and at this point, Himeno's just like, no, what am I going to do, right? This is in the flashback, by the way, right? And then we cut back to her and Aki talking in the, later on, in this, Aki's obviously really grown up, right?
Yeah.
This was probably in the past 3 years of our current story, right? And Himeno's like, hey, Aki, you want to join me going to the public sector? Right? And we learn that she's doing this because, well, she likes Aki.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty spot on dead obvious. You know, we'll only get it more obvious as the episode goes on. Right? But pretty much she knows that if Aki keeps doing this and keeps wanting to fight the devil, he's gonna die. Right? And she wants to sort of save him, so she wants to move on and not be a public safety devil hunter like they are. Right? And at this point, she finally realizes, you know what? They may be able to kill the gun devil with Denji. So, as Denji starts to faint and, like, do all this stuff down there, Himeno with her ghost devil goes and pulls Denji's ripcord, getting him back up, right? Yeah. And at this point, Denji's like, Eureka! I've got it! Alright, I'm gonna win the Nobel Prize. I'm a fucking perpetual motion machine! Because my translation said that.
That's exactly what mine said, yes. And he's able to do this by constantly consuming the Infinity Devil. And as long as it keeps regenerating, he can keep eating it. As long as he can keep eating it, he can keep
because
going.
Of course devils run on blood.
Yeah.
The Infinity Devil is spewing out blood, right? So it's just a constant cycle where, okay, Infinity Devil gives me blood, it keeps growing back, I eat the blood, I kill it more, to where it's a perpetual motion machine.
I mean, it really is, yeah.
I love this scene. Like, this is just such a stupid creative way to beat a boss.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Like later again, we get another power-up that's just as stupid as can be, but makes perfect sense, right? Like, this chapter, I think, is probably the late 60s.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just like, I really like this, and I mean, it really makes sense with an infinite devil.
Mm-hmm.
He's got infinite blood, so infinite blood means infinite eating.
Yeah.
Right? So at this point, we cut 3 days later. Right? Himeno walks in to give Aki the good news. Denji finally killed the devil. We can leave now.
The devil conceded, basically.
Yeah. It for 3 whole days. Right?
I wish they would have done like a stop motion of the characters going around their daily lives for like the next 3 days, like King of the Hill does.
I mean, it's a 3 days. I mean, Christ, about eating and all that, and especially Aki got stabbed.
Yeah.
Right. So at this point, everybody's walking outside. Denji's got this piece of Gun Devil's flesh because, of course, he does. Right. And he's like, "Woohoo! I did it!" As he just falls to the ground, and Himeno's like, "Right. We need to get Aki and Denji to the fucking hospital and stat." Right? They do that, and then we cut to later when Aki and Himeno are just going around doing their daily devil hunter duties, right? And Himeno brings up the point of, hey, so Arai and Kobeni are wanting to quit. Let's get everybody together to have some drinks.
Yeah.
Right? And Aki's like, only if Makima's going. Right? And we learned that Makima's going on a trip to Kyoto here soon, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, and something to keep in mind is drinking with coworkers, like after a big accomplishment, is a very, very common thing in Japan.
But it's also mentioned that, like, here later on, that, like, Aki and a few of the other characters we're going to meet later haven't had drinks in months just because of their nature of their work. Right? They can't be off their guard because, well, they've got devils to murder.
Yeah.
Right? So, pretty much everybody goes out for drinks. Drinks come. Everybody talks around. Kobeni arrives, right? She's in like a maid-looking outfit, sort of right? They sort of talk about like bringing their fiends with them, so we sort of get this insight that there are other sentient fiends out there, right? Or at least ones that work with humans, like Powers, right? And we learned that Powers, of course, she's very capable, but also at the same time, Powers being Power.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be just like an anime trope at this point, the power.
Every good and redeeming trait you could have, she has the opposite.
But it makes for a really fun character.
But yeah, she's not terrible to watch.
Oh no, like she's really fun.
I mean she's a shitty person, but it's fun to watch it.
Oh yeah. So at this point, everybody's there just talking. When one of the so pretty much I should press this. This is all the special devil extermination unit form, right? Everybody's here, right? So they go around and do introductions, right? And this guy over here is just like, hey, all right, so what's your name, age, and I don't know why he's asking for their age. Like, they're gonna die young anyway. It's not like it matters. And they're devil, and Aki's just like, Denji, don't tell him you're devil, right? Denji is 16 years old. Right? And Yomoto's like, holy shit, are you drinking here? Right? And Denji's like, no, I got sweet tea.
Yeah.
Right?
Look, man, I'm gonna say it. Himeno makes Misato look weak. You know, the child predation's real. She's about to catch a case, but we'll see in a second.
Well, she's not going to be on that case for long. We'll get to that in a few episodes. Right? Kobeni's 20 years old. You don't know her devil contract.
Oh, every Chainsaw Man fan knows what her devil is. I think we can all have a good guess.
All right, what is it, Jade?
Next.
Arai is 22. He's got a contract with Fox.
All right. And Himeno literally said the Fox devil is down bad for humans, which is a very strange slang to translate.
Yeah, a little bit.
But gotta keep with the times, I guess.
Yeah. Pretty much at this point, Aki asked one of the other dudes, so hey, how's Yuroki doing? Can they not make it? Oh no, he's 6 foot under, my bad.
Yeah, he's dead.
Right? And at this point the entire table goes silent. Oh no. And Ilmeo's just like, alright, more drinks. Right? At this point, then he's like, oh, Himeno, what about that kiss, right? At this point, Makima walks in, right? And there's a great moment where Makima walks in. He's like, oh, you're kissing somebody, Denji? And Denji's like, hell no! And Himeno is just like, well, wait, aren't you gonna kiss me? And Denji's like, hell yes! Right? It's just like a little funny sort of war in a way. right? Pretty much Aki asked Makima, like, hey, what's up with Denji? These devils are after him. Can you tell me? And Makima's like, outdrink me and sure, right? We cut, and like, Himeno joined in on this. Aki and Himeno are passed the fuck out, right? And they're just like really down bad, right? And Makima's just still there, sentient as can be, just like, alrighty, how are you guys doing tonight? Right? There's a little joke about Power's IQ, right? Somebody asked Power how high her IQ is. She's like I'm 90. One of the people says, oh, well, mine's 92. Oh, well, mine's 120. His is 130. Mine's 500. Right? It's a Power moment, right? And at this point, Himeno grabs Denji and kisses him. And Denji's like, whoa, what? This is warm. It's so interesting.
He also is embarrassed because Makima's watching.
Makima's watching, right? And Denji's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is great. As Himeno lifts up her head and it's just barf flowing into Denji, right? And at this point, this is my favorite part. Power's like, oh no, this is bad. Denji will eat anything remotely nutritious that comes into his mouth, as we just see Denji swallow it as the scene cuts.
So, something to mention is if you haven't watched this episode, it is censored. And it pissed me off so bad that, you know, blood and gore and destroying devils, oh, that's fine, that's okay, you know. But, God forbid, there's puke. So,
I think this was for the comic appeal of it. I don't think this was because, oh no, the Japanese and American audiences can't see this, or else we're going to get destroyed.
Well, no, the TV station that aired it didn't want that being showed. They'll actually uncensor it for the Blu-ray edition, thank God.
Really?
Yeah, so we'll be able to see the full detail.
Oh, I just thought that was just something where it was just censored for
the effect. The effect, I looked it up. No, it's not. It was actually had to be censored. Otherwise they would. Because remember, they said Chainsaw Man was not going to be censored in any way.
Well, but also like that sort of, to me, it's like that sort of made sense, right?
Now, what really is going to get you when they get to some of the Quan Chi scenes, that's when it's really going to get fun.
Oh, yeah.
I just name dropped a character. My bad. Might want to bleep that out.
Oh, Jane, I don't care that much. It's a character that comes up a lot later.
Yeah, but wait till we see some of her scenes, and we'll see when the real censoring comes.
Right, and at this point, we get a sort of a mini flashback that I don't think really warrants being here, right?
Yeah.
Denji's with Puchita, and some rats are eating puke on the ground, right? And Denji found a burger in the trash, and he's like, who would eat puke? That's disgusting, right? I don't really think this needs to be here. I think it would be also fine if it was just a hard cut to what happens next. Denji's just puking all this out into the toilet.
That's double puke, man.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's twice the nutrients.
Oh my jeez. Oh, Jade. Oh my gosh. And we see Arise there helping Denji, and Arise says some stuff. So does this puking method help, right?
Yeah.
And we sort of get some stuff into Arai. Right, I feel like this is actually pretty cool. Some deep dive into Arai's character. I hope he sticks around.
Yeah, I do.
Right. Pretty much Arai just says some stuff, and that's really that. Right. Pretty much everybody is leaving at this point, right? Makima's like, oh, well, I paid off all your tabs, so you guys go thank me. Everybody thanks her. Big thing there, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, where's Himeno and Denji? Well, Himeno just carries Denji away somewhere, right?
Yep.
And we cut. Denji's in a place he's not familiar with. We see him raise his arm up to the sky, and he looks around. He's like, oh, where am I? Oh, that's right, I got puked in my mouth. Oh, I need a glass of water. As we see Himeno walk into the room.
Yeah, the point of view animation is actually not bad. It's pretty good.
No, it's pretty good, right?
The CGI is a little wonky, but it's kind of hard to animate a background like that.
Now, let me just sum this up. Himeno does some very sensual stuff with it.
Yes.
Right? Like some very... Ooh.
Almost felt the genre of changing before my very eyes.
It was. And we sort of get a look around her room, right? And we just see a lot of stuff going on until eventually... I'm not really going to go into it since there's not a whole lot to go into. If you haven't watched the episode and you're watching this, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean... And pretty much Himeno lays down, puts two hands on Denji's face and says, you want to do it?
Cut.
But here's the thing. So you know how her room looked, right?
Yeah.
We cut to the ending. The ending really matches with it really well.
I noticed that as well.
Right? And then
Also, real quick, the balcony that she's standing on, is the same balcony that you see in the opening with the Angel, Devil, and Aki.
No, Himeno and Aki.
Oh, it's Himeno and Aki? Okay.
Yeah,
You're right.
And also the balcony will come up.
You're right. Okay.
Next episode, right? The ending is All Kinds of Kisses by Ano.
This is a very good ending.
To be honest, I think the ending song is good, and I love how the animation looks.
The retro look to it with the subtitles at the bottom.
Yeah, and it's like also like in sort of like in a video game sense in a way too. Like it's Kobeni walking in, like Denji's like equipment and stuff.
Yep.
It's really cool, and then you've got some shots of all of the main girls in Chainsaw Man.
Yep.
Which I think a few of these are taken from the manga from cover pages, right?
And then it cuts to a scene where it's just like CG, they're floating around with just a rainbow going from Himeno's mouth to Denji's mouth, and it's so funny.
Yeah, and it's just it's a good ending, right? I think whenever we talk about our endings, whenever the series is done with,
this will be a high one for me.
What I think we're going to have to do is I think we're going to have to separate the song from the animation at some point, right? Because I definitely think there's some better songs out there, but I think it's like ending content. This is probably in my top 3 so far from what we had.
My favorite ending song is Chainsaw Blood. It's amazing.
Dude, Chainsaw Blood is so good. It's like,
but the lack of animation holds it back.
Yeah, like the animation for it, you have to visit on YouTube because it's not on the episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not on the episode.
Okay, I didn't know there was animation for it.
Yeah, there is.
I'll have to watch it.
It's just a recap of the first episode. Okay. It's not really anything important, right? But like for me, it's like Chainsaw Blood is obviously the best song, right? But it's like whenever I think about it, like the best animation has to be from 200 centimeter long blades.
Yeah.
Like that has the best animation, and like Time Left had some like good information. It looks into characters for some later on stuff. But this was just a really good ending overall.
So here's something cool for the ending.
We can't go wrong with this one.
So the subtitle is said "Get on, kiss," right? The furigana above it, which is for Japanese readers who can't read English, says "Geto Geto Chew," which means barf barf kiss.
Really?
Yeah. So they changed it, and I'm pretty sure the song actually does say "Geto Geto Chew."
I think it does.
Which is barf barf kiss, which is even funnier.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely showing you these endings were made in mind for this series, right? They definitely were. Really, do we have anything we want to talk about? Because I think one of my favorite like chapter opening moments for Chainsaw Man is next time, where Denji's like, "What are you talking about?" And Himeno, because if you haven't figured it out, it's sex, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like the best chapter opening where we just get into it and Denji's like, "What do you mean?" And Himeno's like, "Sex," and it's just like that's just in the word bubble. It's so funny. Right, I don't think that can really be captivated as well as it is here, but it's still pretty good.
Kobeni's best girl, the lines that she had in this was nice.
Yeah. To be honest, I think this is a very important episode. It has this really awesome fight in the beginning against, of course, the Infinity Devil, and then just meeting all of these characters who, oh man, I wish I would have remembered their names. Hopefully I won't need to, right?
Yeah.
So,
this episode was very good. It's my favorite so far, and it'll probably stay up there just because how iconic it is.
I think this will be probably my favorite episode of this first part.
Yeah. Because
I think it's going to be in the next season wherever we get probably my favorite content of the series. Well, no, I can't say that. That would be last season or whatever. So I'm guessing this will be about 3 seasons. Right?
I assume it will be.
That's what I'm looking at. Next season, we've got some really awesome scenes that I can't wait to get animated. And then the final season will have my favorite fight in any series of all time.
I disagree, but...
Well...
My favorite fight of all time is Steel Ball Run, and you'll hear about that in our reviews in the coming weeks.
Oh, Jade, you've still got to realize at this point the space race in Izakoi hasn't gone
Okay, 6 months.
Yeah, it'll probably be like 3 or 4 months before that even goes up.
Okay, all right. So. But... I would give this episode a solid 9 out of 10, which is the highest I've had so far.
Yeah, I would too. This was a great episode.
I mean, the CGI is really good. The ending's great. The opening fight scene's awesome.
The content of this episode is really good.
The barf scene's iconic. And when the Blu-ray comes out, we're all in for a treat.
Yeah. So again, this was Chainsaw Man episode 7, titled Taste of a Kiss. Covered 3.5 chapters, chapter 18 to chapter 21. And yeah, that's really it. I'm going to say I don't normally do these. Please, if you feel like it, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to your channel, like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, you're a sellout.
Do all the... Jane, have I ever done this before while recording with you? Exactly. It'd be great if you did. Thank you very much. And with that, it's going to be Glowplasma231 out.
See ya, guys.